David Maack, our 4th District Alder, is here, and trick-or-treating. Were you, what did you get dressed up as when you were a kid?
We had those, what was it, vinyl...
The vinyl thing you slip over with the mask.
Yeah, the plastic mask.
And you stick your tongue in, it gets ripped off from like a razor blade. And,
exactly.
And it sounded like this. Nobody can hear. And your eyes, you couldn't see. First of all, it's dark. It's at night, and you can't see at that little slit where your eyes are supposed. And the little band is the staples coming out, trying to hold your mask on.
And the mask is getting all sweaty or whatever.
Yeah,
you know. The condensation building up on the mask. So.
When you're talking, right, it got all wet on the end, and your face is all wet with your own spit.
Right.
My mother, I got this great costume one year when I was a little kid, Dracula. I had the cape, I had everything.
Well,
then she made me wear a winter coat over it. Nobody could see anything. I looked like a regular guy going to school.
And it was like 78 degrees that Halloween, and Don Rosen's wearing a winter coat because Mommy doesn't want him to get a cold.
No, it was a little colder than that where I lived. We used to trick-or-treat from when we went to school in the morning on the way to school, and you stopped when, everybody shut their lights off, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. It was all day long. We used to have a big hall, my brother and I, but we had one guy in the neighborhood. He worked for Nabisco, and he used to give out big boxes of Oreos. And you looked in his house when he came to the door, and the living room was stacked with they were all expired. That's how we got them. But who cares?
Yeah.
They were cookies, they're good.
They'll last for 20 years.
20 years, they'll go through the next Armageddon. They don't care.
Yeah.
When the nuclear war comes, Oreos will still be there. So we used to go back again and again. He didn't know. I mean, there's so many kids in the name, hundreds of kids. We used to go back, hey, get another box of Oreos. Then we had a woman who used to put 2 pennies in our bed. What am I going to do with 2 pennies?
So what did Carlos Gambino give you when you went to his
Carlo
store?
Gambino? Yeah, I was showing David Carlo Gambino. Somebody posted an old article when he passed away at the age of, 70?
71, 72?
He looked like he was about 90.
I thought he was.
And he was the
head of the New York mob.
He was
one of the families.
Yeah, he was one of the He was the inspiration for Marlon Brando's character in The Godfather, Carlo Gambino. And he lived about
right down the street from Don Rosen.
Well, not down the street, about 4 or 5 minutes away. He lived on the other side of town, a small town, Massapequa. And he lived there. That's where he passed away.
Well, you lived in Massapequa, right?
Massapequa, yeah.
Yeah. So did you go to his house?
I probably passed it, but now we got a serial killer who lived 10 blocks from me. That guy, the Gilgo Beach serial killer.
So what did Jerry Seinfeld's mom give out? Full-size candy bars? Probably not.
Yeah, he lived about 6 houses from me. Yeah, we went trick-or-treating at his house, too. Everybody went over to everybody's house. But they gave away good candy back then. Now you get the little, not even bite-size. I don't know, it's nibble-size.
Oh, yeah, they keep shrinking. I still remember as a kid getting that full-size Milky Way or Three Musketeer bar. And
before we get to I got a thing here, and this I never realized about M&Ms. Did you know, what colors do you think are in the M&Ms? Do you know offhand?
Blue, orange, brown, yellow, green, and red.
Good for you. I could have sworn tan was in there.
No, never.
Oh, yeah, it was in there at one time.
Really?
Yeah. It's been 30 years since M&M's got rid of the tan color. I remember tan. They gave the public 3 choices at that time, blue, purple, and pink. Blue obviously won. It's been almost 50 years since orange was introduced to replace red because, remember the red scare? The red dye scare, which turned out to be nothing.
My wife got a picture with the orange M&M up at Mall of America. Because orange is her favorite color.
But I remember the tan M&M. I could have sworn they were in the package now.
I do not remember tan M&Ms. Because it's why would you put a neutral color like beige when the rest of them are nice and
that's what they had.
Bright.
That's what they had. Before we get to the
before we get to that, I got to wish my son David L. Maack II a very happy birthday. He was born 31 years ago, so today is his golden birthday.
So he just missed the tan M&Ms because that was 30 years ago.
I guess he
just missed. No, he didn't miss it.
No.
He made it the first year of his life. There were tan M&Ms. Good for him.
Yeah, that's what we fed the newborn kid.
Tan M&Ms.
Didn't have teeth. They melt in your mouth, not in your hand.
I always said was it Eagle Scout?
He was an Eagle Scout.
Yeah,
he is an Eagle Scout.
Yeah.
I asked you to be the MC.
Yeah, I was at his, what do they call it? Induction? Ceremony, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be Eagle Scout. That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
So congratulations to your son.
Yep.
Yeah, so far so good. Proud of him.
I am. He's a good kid, works hard, very talented. He's been helping out with the Sixth Street Theater. He was at a play earlier this year. He had to play like 100 characters.
Oh.
And people that went to see it were like, wow, your son was really good. I mean, to play one character is hard, but, like 200 characters he's playing through the course of the play.
I was there to see Misery at the Sixth Street Theater.
Misery.
That's
my middle name.
Yeah. Miserable is your middle name. So Misery, and the lead actress who played, the Kathy Bates, at one point she made eye contact with me because I was in the first row, and I got frightened because she's a great actress. She scared me in the show. I mean, because the Kathy Bates character was a frightening person. And she looked at me. She just scared the audience, and she made eye contact. Don't look.
So at Sixth Street Theater, they do that in the winter time. It's at Snow Dance, where they have like 10 different short plays, and they're all hilarious. And then the audience can vote at the end of the run. They give out prizes, and they solicit these from all over the country, maybe all over the world. I don't know. Well, I am the only person to ever go to Snow Dance who has never laughed. I almost laughed once inside, but I have been able to maintain control every time I've seen Snow Dance.
Why don't you want to laugh?
Well, now that I got this streak going,
About laughing? Fun guy.
Yeah. But I'm laughing on the inside.
Okay. Let's talk about a few things here before we get to we got to take a break here in a second. You just have on your list here, Henry Winkler's 80th birthday. You got to meet the Fonz.
Yeah, we met the Fonz.
He doesn't look 80.
No, he doesn't. Well, my dad turns 80 next week. I'm like, holy cow, the Fonz is my dad's age. And I'm watching Happy Days, and he's playing like a high school guy. And all along, he's the same age as my dad. And my dad clearly wasn't in high school, when I was 9, 10 years old.
Wow. Yeah. What do you?
Henry Winkler had to be like 30 years old when he was hanging around Richie and the boys.
He did look about 30. Yeah. Well, he was supposed to be older.
Yeah, but not that old. I mean, it's kind of creepy that 30-year-old guy's hanging around with a bunch of 16-year-olds.
They have teenagers, guys, in their late 20s playing teenagers in the movies, So what are you like?
I'm 25.
Let me guess here. 72.
Yeah, okay. Carlo Gambino. So I take my grandson, number 1, to meet the Fonz. We go to Iola, Wisconsin, at the Iola Auto Show on a whim on a Saturday morning, and it's like one of the hottest days that summer, and it was miserable, and we had to wait in line, and he's whining because, why do I have to meet this guy?
He doesn't even know who he is.
Well, you know what? I come to find out that 2 days before, him, his dad, grandma, they all watched a Henry Winkler movie.
Oh, yeah, he's met a couple of them. Yeah.
So then we found out, so Henry Winkler sees Kai, and he's real passionate about reading because he had dyslexia, and he's written some children's books, and he gets down to Kai's level, and he just starts asking him questions like, how old are you? Where do you go to school? Starts encouraging him, to do well. And then he's charging for his autograph, and he's charging to get a picture with them. But he takes a little postcard-sized picture of himself, and he signs it to Kai, and he hands it to him. Didn't charge us for that. And then I saw one of the postcards. He was the voice of one of the monsters in Monsters, Inc. I said, Kai, see, you know who he is. He was that character in Monsters, Inc. And so Henry takes one of those cards, and he signs it, hands it to Kai. And overall, it was a fun experience. I mean, I grew up with Henry Winkler and the Fonz, and then later in life, what was that show where he played, no, not Dexter. He played the acting coach with there was another serial
You'll have to look
killer.
it up. Last night, the council had a long Meeting 6.5 hours, huh?
Yeah, we didn't get out of there.
Does that
till
include a
about
supper
12:30.
break, a dinner break?
No.
Oh, look at that. Boy, did you get offended by that line.
All I ate was breakfast. I went out to the snack machine. I'm trying to eat healthy, and I go out to the snack machine not once, not twice, but 3 times because my blood sugar was dipping, and it's like, oh boy.
So what was going on for 6.5 hours?
We have been discussing the budget, and our first night was presentations by the department heads. We have never done it that way before. What we had done is we would call each department up. They'd give a short overview, and we'd jump into asking questions. And the powers to be decided that this year we would have questions on the first night. So, hour and a half later, we're done. We're going home. I thought that night that we just jump into, asking the questions. Have the department head come up, give their 5-minute presentation, and then let us start asking questions about their budget and start moving through this methodically. And as a result, the next night, we were there till 11 o'clock at night, and they wanted to jump into doing the ordinances. So the mayor's put a whole bunch of ordinances into the budget book. Ordinances are things like making no mow permanent, creating a municipal or city of Racine ID card. There are some ordinances on illegal dumping, things that really could be handled elsewhere, but not in the budget process, but they're in the budget. So we ran out of time last week to discuss those ordinances. Last night, we had a public hearing on the budget. That should have been it, but we had to go through, I want to say there were 12 ordinances, maybe 14 different ordinances. We went through them one by one. But last night, I suggested that these ordinances be sent to the standing committee, the appropriate standing committee. There were a couple of them that the Public Works Committee could have handled. There were several that Public Safety could have handled, a few that Finance could have handled. And this would allow the public to come in, have input, because a lot of these ordinances have an impact on specific groups. There was one on adult daycare homes, and I have no problem with us setting up a registration locally for that, having some sort of regulation for it. But those adult homes, residential homes, they should be a part of the process. They should be able to have input. And, we noticed the notice last night that was we were going to be discussing the budget, including ordinances. There wasn't a specific line item. If it would go to a standing committee, there'd be a line item saying, we're going to discuss ordinance 0015-25, regulation of adult homes, residential homes, that sort of thing. So
I have the press release here about the budget, and the mill rate was dropped from $2.10 to $11.75 per $1,000 of assessed valuation, which means your property taxes go down. The problem is when you get your and the mayor was pointing this out yesterday, when you get your tax bill, it's not just the city on there. You got the county, you've got a whole bunch of other things that didn't go down. So
and if your assessment went up, your taxes aren't going to go down either.
Right. And so it looks like it's going up, but actually for the city, it went down. So that's good news, I guess. But
Spending is still up.
And spending will never go down. It will never go down because things are more expensive and people want what they want.
Will if you cut.
Yeah, but that cutting doesn't work all the time,
We have an issue next year. This year's budget was balanced using ARPA funds. That was what the feds gave us to help get through COVID. And we have been dipping into savings. Our city finance director keeps telling us we have a structural deficit of $5 million. And this is only going to get worse next year. So something's going to give. Next year's budget is going to be a very difficult one for that council to deal with.
So Brett Hoffman from Marcus Theater is coming in. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things, spooky movies, new movies that are out, scary things, all kind of stuff here. And David, you're going to sit in with us when Brett comes in just a moment.